have access, so I sent like another request. I don't know if you answered to the last one, to the second one.
Yes, I did.
Super, super. So I'll take a look at it this afternoon because I'm planning to go over the links that I couldn't open, or that the file was in a format that my laptop was not able to read. I don't know, so double check. So thanks so much for your prompt reply.
Thank you, teacher.
Alrighty. Are you seeing the screen? I think I'm sharing with you.
Yes.
Test. Yes. Okay. So, Jolie, would you like to read the title at the bottom here?
Yes, teacher, of course.
Thank you so much.
Story by Wink. Travel quiz. Test your knowledge of the most beautiful places in the world.
All right, let's take this quiz together, right? Because I don't know the places, I don't know the answers. Elizabeth, would you like to read this?
Okay. Where is the world's longest natural sea beach?
Okay, the options are. Can you pick one, each of you? Which one do you think is this longest natural sea beach in the world? Here's the picture. And here are the options. This is for you, Elizabeth, Jolie, for you, Sebastian, for you, Patricio. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Morning. Also for Mariano as well. Morning, Patricio.
Good morning, teacher.
Hey, Mariano. So the world's longest natural sea beach is, you already picked your option, right? We don't know. So do you have your option ready?
Yes.
I think
Okay,
it's
Sebastian.
Maya Bay, maybe, or maybe the one that's in South Africa, because South Africa is, big and stuff.
Yeah, but we need to pick one. What do you think, Elizabeth?
Maybe Australia.
Okay, let's take a look. Each one of you already picked one. Let's see if you are the winner. Bangladesh. How about that? I had no idea. Second question. Patricia, would you like to read it aloud? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I can read it. Patricia, go for it, please. Go.
Yeah, which place will you find this pink sand beach in?
All right, that's the beach. Look at the sand. It's kind of pink. It's kind of pinkish, right? Interesting. The options are, pick one and see if you are a winner. Ready? Okay, let me ask Jolie. Jolie, which is your option?
I was thinking about the last one, Big Island,
The last
Hawaii.
one.
Yeah, but I'm not sure
Okay.
about it.
I'm not sure either. Did all of you pick one already? Okay, here we go. Oh, Indonesia. It's in Indonesia. Okay, I didn't know that. Mariano, would you like to read this one aloud?
Yes.
Thank you.
Which beach has the whitest sand in Australia?
Yes, look at the sand. So, which is the beach in Australia? I don't know the name of the beaches in Australia anyway. So, we're sort of blinded here. blindfolded. That's what I meant.
I think I am not sure, but I think it's the first one.
The first one, right.
Yes.
Did you all pick yours? Thank you, Marina. Did you all have your choice?
Lizard
Yes.
Island.
Island, Lizard Island. Okay, I'll pick. I'll take the first one as it was the first option, right? And see if you are a winner or not. Yay! Hyams Beach in Australia. Next question. Where can you see penguins in Cape Town? I believe Cape Town is in South Africa, but I'm not 100% sure. Where can you see penguins in Cape Town? And the options are, I mean, penguins in South Africa, if that's the correct place. Let's ask Daniela. Good morning, Daniela. Diane, good morning. Cristobal, Diego. So, Daniela, good morning, Cristobal.
I just got here because I had problems with my computer, so I don't know very well what you were doing.
I'm asking you a question, and the question is, where can you see penguins in Cape Town, South Africa? You see this penguin? Which place do you think this is? Camps Bay Beach, Boulders Beach, Sea Point, or Hut Bay? I don't know. You don't know, maybe?
I have no idea, but
Okay.
the second one, Boulders Beach.
The second one. Excellent. Let's try that one. I think all of you already picked your choice. Wow, good job. Good job. That was the answer, the correct answer. Diego, would you like to read this question aloud? Look at that.
Okay. Good morning, teacher. By the way.
Good morning. Yep.
Well, where can you find the highest waterfall in the world?
Thank you so much. So this is the waterfall, right? No need for explanation, I guess. And where is it? And Diego, would you like to pick yours? Everyone's going to pick. But,
I will say the Niagara Falls. I have no idea.
Niagara Falls. Okay. Any other answer from anyone in the room? Nope. Do you all agree?
I have.
Angel Falls, Elizabeth. Mariano?
I was going to say the first.
The first. Okay. Okay, I'll pick this one because this is the first option. But then let's see if you are the winners here. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Angel Falls. I bet you watched the movie Up. And the last question. It's a very impressive image. Are these people? Oh, yeah, I think they are. What an impressive hill or mountain. So, Cristobal, would you like to read the question aloud?
Okay. Where can you find its Rainbow Mountain?
What do you think, Cristobal? We've got 4 options for you. 4 options for everyone, actually. What would you pick?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but you have to pick.
Maybe. Can you show me the picture again? No, I haven't seen that in my life. Maybe China. I don't know.
Okay,
China?
maybe China. Do you all agree? Any other options?
Peru.
Peru.
Yes, I agree with Elizabeth. I think it's Peru.
Let's see. I have no idea. So, well, sorry, China or Peru? Which one was the first option? China, right?
Yes.
Okay, China. Let's see if that is the correct option or the other ones. 1, 2, 3. Peru. Marca, I think that was the name, Marca. Okay, let's do the last one, right? Look at this image. How marvelous. It's like a very strange looking lake, pond. I don't know what is it? Oh, lagoon. So where is the pink lagoon in Mexico? The pink lagoon in Mexico. You saw the image and you have the options. I have no idea. What do you think? Any idea? For this last question?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I saw this days ago.
Did you retain the name? Do you remember the name?
No, I think it was. I'm not sure. Maybe it was in Oceania, or maybe here in Brazil.
Oh, so not in Mexico.
Oh, well, in Mexico then.
Well, we need to double check this information. Never trust internet anyway. So if you have to choose one of these, which one will you choose? Let's see an answer in the chat. Las Coloradas. Okay, Mariano, we're going for that. Las Coloradas. 1, 2, and who's agreeing? Okay. Right here. Las Coloradas. 1, 2, 3. Super. Las Coloradas in Mexico. Maybe you could like you could double check that information, right? As Sebastian was saying that he saw this somewhere else. I don't know. You never fully trust a source. Good morning, Camila Leon. Good morning, Fernanda. Good morning, Pia. Right? I think I haven't said hi to you. This is an interesting sort of cultural quiz, right? Sort of what was the name? Travel quiz, right? To test our knowledge of the most beautiful places in the world. That of course we can visit after this pandemic is, we're done with the pandemic, right? And of course we have the money to travel. That's very important, right? I'm trying to share with you a PowerPoint presentation from last class to remember some of the aspects dealt with in an article. The article was called English Pronunciation, Intelligibility, Comprehensibility, and Accentedness, right? And as far as I remember, I posted the link, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'll post the link in the chat box just in case. That's the link. So my question is, how much do you remember from the concepts that we can see here, right, listed, all these bulleted concepts from the article. Remember the article that was not long, that we had a chance to read it aloud. So what do you understand by English as a lingua franca from the concepts, from the concept explained in the article, and also other sources that you might have visited or read or watched, of course? How do you understand pronunciation now, and the teaching and assessing of pronunciation, or assessment of pronunciation? what do you understand by accentedness and intelligibility and comprehensibility in terms of these concepts were explained or somehow approached to in the article? Do you remember? Would you like to read the article again? Do you need some minutes to take a look at the article again?
Teacher, I remember the last two concepts, the intelligibility and comprehensibility.
Okay.
Intelligibility, it has to be with how comprehensible a message is when the speaker delivers that message. And whereas comprehensibility deals with how difficult it is to understand the utterance. Because, for example, two utterance of a speaker can be the both understood, therefore the both of them are intelligible, but one of the two utterance can be more difficult to understand, so one of them is less comprehensible. Yeah.
I follow what you're saying. Now, when you say two utterances, when you say that one utterance can be more difficult than the other utterance, how can you explain that a little bit further, please?
In terms of the listener, that he has to put more effort to understand the other speaker.
And that difficulty level has to do with the accent of the other speaker, or in terms of other areas of the dialect, like because of the grammar or because of the vocabulary used by the speaker? What's the connection with that level of difficulty? This is an open question, all right? Open question for Cristobal and for everyone in the room.
I think it would be for accentedness and pronunciation, both.
Right. Elizabeth, please.
Yes, I think that comprehensibility, it's related with the fluency, for instance, grammar, phonology, because the accent shouldn't be a problem for the listener, or at least that was the opinion of the author.
Right. What do you think about what Elizabeth just mentioned? Do you agree? Do you partially agree? Completely disagree with her remark? Daniela, I think you suggested Peaky Blinds? No, Peaky Blinders?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I started to watch it and to try to understand the Brahmi accent a little bit more. It's quite interesting. Now, if you have watched Peaky Blinders or if you are familiar with the Birmingham accent, do you think it's totally comprehensible, or that sometimes the accent of some speakers may interfere with the comprehension of the message?
I think, well, in the case of that series, I am not able to watch it just with English subtitles, because for me, the accent is hard to understand. The British accent in general, I don't like it. Therefore, it's hard for me to understand it. But that accent in particular, I think that it's harder because it has a lot of changes. And yeah, I can watch it with only English subtitles.
Thank you so much, Danila. Any other opinion about the concepts that Cristol started to define? Do you have any other definitions for any of the other items I think I'm still sharing the PowerPoint slide, right?
Yes. Teacher, English as a lingua franca, the article mentioned when both L2 speakers use English as the bridge to communicate.
Yes, go on.
So it means that the only possible way to communicate is English, therefore English is the lingua franca, like the international, something like that, I remember.
Right. Well, there's a debate about this still, considering that in every language or in every country there are purist people or people who believe that the language should be kept very pure, pristine, no changes, right? And particularly responding to the cultural necessities or needs of the country in which is spoken, that everyone arriving to the country, immigrants or whatsoever, should start speaking right away the language, and that the second language or third languages that they speak should be put out or should be put away, because the main language is the official language of the country. That happens in many places. But in general, the perception is, at least in terms of English, that even though is spoken in, as you are already familiar with, right, in many countries, which are considered part of an inner circle, the ones giving the norms, right, the norm providing English-speaking countries, the language also responds to the culture of the way that people that use that specific language see the world. Therefore, as we all see the world in different manners, as many external factors influence in the way we perceive nature and the world and reality. If you live in a specific area surrounded by specific geographical features, I'm sure that all of these elements will affect the way you survive, the way you relate to each other, the way you are more dependable or less dependable on other members of the society. So it's an impossible hypothetical situation that the language may develop in the same way in one continent and in another continent. Therefore, we need to respect these linguistic differences, right, of the different types of development that English may have, for example, in a country in like in Australia or New Zealand, for example. And if you see the language in, for example, South Africa or any other country in Africa. So the point is that now the perspective is that English is it does not belong to an English-speaking country, but it's seen as a vehicle that is used as just like a tool, right? Just like a tool that can be used by anyone. Can, just like when you grab a hammer and you use it, right, to hit it to hit a nail, right? You can use the hammer. Someone else can use it. I mean, and that's a tool. Probably the way you grab the handle of the hammer is going to change. Maybe you're going to grab the handle of the hammer a little bit higher, a little bit lower. You're going to hit the nail stronger or maybe softer. But then it's a tool. So that's a different perception about English, that as a tool, it cannot be addressed, assessed, or perceived from a standard point of view, but that regional differences, right, might be respected, that every single dialect should receive the same amount of, I would say, prestige, even though there are dialects that naturally in each country are more prestigious than others. For example, the prestige of a language is connected with the highly respected segment of the society that speaks that specific dialect, right? Which it's connected with the concept of socialects, right? Sometimes in a specific country, the people who are well educated are the ones that sort of dictate what the standard English is, or what the most respected dialect is, right? That's important to remember. But the perception of English, it has been changing. That's why English as an international language, which is not exactly the same as a lingua franca, there are some nuances. Refers to the use of English language as a tool that is widely used by speakers who don't use it as a first language. Therefore, the perception has to change when we evaluate it, and the focus, right? It should change. Sorry.
Yeah,
Jolie, please. Yes.
I was going to say something about accentness. Like, for example, when you are asking for some information, you're going to believe in the speaker, like depending on the accent. I mean, how they pronounce the information that they are going to give you, if they are sure about what they are saying to you. I mean, the article say that. For example, when you trust in some people who speak to you, I mean, when they provide you with some information, and when you listen to them, like for example, you will see, okay, this one is telling me the truth because he sounds like he's from here, he's from this country, so I'm going to believe in him. But in other way, if you listen to someone like from another country, like for example, someone who did not born in this specific area, you will think, like for example, when they give you the information, you will not believe in that people. Like this is going to depend on the accent of a particular people in order to believe him on them. That was quite interesting in the article that I remember about it. And yeah.
Right. What do you think? Some people, for some people, it's so hard to shed the language to reduce. Sorry, to shed the accent, to reduce the accent. What do you think? People who were not born in a country, who arrived to a country, keeps the same accent, and 20, 25, 30 years, and they still speak. I'm thinking about, for example, Spanish immigrants who arrived to Chile. Somehow they have been in Chile for 20, 25, 30 years, and they still speak with their accent. They haven't lost it. What do you think that happens? What are the chances? And I think Sebastian was the one referring to the example of some Chileans traveling to Argentina, I think. And sometimes travelers who go to Argentina and pick up immediately the accent. How come? What do you think? Is there an explanation for that?
Professor,
Yes.
I don't know if you ever have heard the actress Sofia Vergara talking. She she's always criticized by the way that she speaks English, because it's a very like particular way, they say, but she is not of English speaking country. I can't remember which country she was, but she's Latin. So for that reason, she's known as the girl who has a very strange accent, but I think that she's just tried to be loyal to what she is, and she's just not trying to act like an American girl, because she's not.
Right, that's an interesting example. I'm not sure. I haven't watched this. So I'm very scared about improvising. I mean, not scared, but sometimes you click on one and you get I don't know. Okay, let's try the first one. Let's see if we can listen to some.
Hi, I'm Sofia Vergara. When a guy won't take no for an answer, like if I'm in a bar, I have this trick that Can you get this? They ran. I don't need to do anything else.
Please welcome Sofia Vergara. I know you were in Soul Plane, which was a hilarious movie, but I know you did it with like Snoop Dogg, Method Man, right, Dio?
I didn't do it with them. I was in a movie with them. You're horrible.
No, you're
You think
very
because of my
funny.
English, I'm not gonna catch what you're trying to say.
No.
And, Chuy, ¿tú cómo te aguantas esta vieja?
I have to say.
Now defend yourself. You don't know what I said.
No. I have no defense.
Okay.
Because I have to say that this is my favorite interview that I've ever had on this television show.
Okay, good.
All right. Now, let's see if Daniela, let's see if your classmates have a similar opinion or a different opinion that Sofia Vergara has that particular accent because she is sticking to her true personality or her true self in terms of her cultural background, or that, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here, or she is selling an image, having a very thick Latin American pronunciation in order to get interviews, get some roles in some movies. I mean, if it's part of a strategy to sound like with a very thick Latin American accent, or she's just being natural. She's just not trying to pose or pretend to be a different person because she's not trying to pretend to have a different accent. What's your standing, guys? What do you think?
Teacher, I didn't fully understand the question. You mean why her accent is still there? I'm lost.
Right. Well, everyone has an accent, right? I mean, yeah, everyone has an accent. It's like part of the human nature. And she has a very thick Latin American accent that I read sometimes. No, I read some time ago that some people believe that she is actually using this very thick accent to get some parts, some roles in movies or in TV series or to be interviewed. But others actually praise that she still has this very thick Latin American accent because she's sort of a representative of the Latin American women or the Latin American culture. So what do you think? Is it using this accent to have more, exposure in terms of movies, in terms of work? Or
I think that
yes,
in terms of work, she's not using the accent. Hollywood is using the accent of her, and she always is playing the role of the dumb, hot Spanish woman, and almost in all the work that she has done, has this role of the hot Latin American woman. I think that is, I don't know, like very, very old stereotypes of Latin American people in the US. But I think that it's pretty much it. She always have talked with that accent, if I'm not mistaken. And she have been living there for a long time. So I think that she's just speaking in that way because it's the most comfortable for her, I guess.
Interesting point of view. Let's see if your classmates might have a different perception.
It's an interesting topic. Like, for example, the stereotype they say about her. But actually, I do not know because I haven't read anything about her. And sometimes I watched some video about her, but I can't give like that much information because I haven't read any article that explains something about the accent that she has, right? So maybe it's like the stereotype say, maybe it's not, you know. So maybe she just have the accent because she want to keep it. She wants to keep it and not to lose her Latin American accent. Maybe it's like the stereotype say, like she's using the accent to make money and to become popular. Maybe it's not. You know, we never know nothing about something if we do not live it. Like, for example, see it with our eyes, we can't believe in something that somebody else says. So it's quite interesting. Yeah.
Right. We cannot read minds. But that is actually some very interesting topic when you consider that some speakers, even when they go and live in a different country and they have to speak in a different language, like say English in this case, some speakers maybe received formal education in the language. I'm trying to, I don't try to be disrespectful with this comment, but you know, have classes that have to do with explaining the way that sounds are produced, the way that they are different from the ones you produced in your mother tongue, like for example, Spanish in this case, or it could be about any other speaker, right? We're talking about Sofia Vergara because Daniela brought it up in the discussion, but it could be any speaker. And then sometimes they pick up the differences, or sometimes not. There's just a transference from the sounds they make in their native language. A speaker who's from China transfers the sounds from Chinese into the language, and some sounds are very difficult for that particular speaker to produce. For example, and right, or roar, ring. So the in the retroflex liquid, it's very hard for Asian people, particularly Chinese. So sometimes there's a switch to an So some speakers will transfer some sounds from their original system or mother tongue to the language they are learning, and that's sort of a natural process. So sometimes as a listener, you need to be prepared to understand this transference and adjust or program your brain to understand the conversation. Daniel says for French people as well, right? They tend to move the word stress to final position. So position, people, I don't know, I'm very, very, very bad at imitating accents. So, but I understand that morning could be morning, right? So they tend to shift the word stressed to a final position. But then again, as Jolie said, right, it's very hard to judge or to define whether the speaker is reaping some reward from using or maintaining a specific accent, or just is the negative transfer, or not negative transfer, but the transfer from sounds in the mother tongue to the second language, or it's a matter of cultural pride that speakers really do not want to sound like someone who has a different heritage, but they still want to sound like a Latin American or like a nation speaker. You know, they are so proud of their cultural heritage, their cultural background, their roots, right? That they really think that they, because they sound that they belong to a specific linguistic community, that's what they want to sound, because they want to fit in into this specific community. They don't want to fit in any other. And when speakers want to belong to a different community, probably they're going to seek to find or to sound like a different speaker. Daniela, please.
I don't know if this influence in what we are discussing, but I think that maybe it depends on like the skill of each person, because we, for instance, we are a Chilean people, but for some people it's easier to be like attached to a certain accent, and they are like sound like, I don't like the word natural, but if you hear that person, if you listen that person speak, it doesn't sound like he's trying too hard. I think that maybe that is because he's he or she is like more easy for that person. I think that maybe that is like something to keep in mind. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not a specialist in dialects, but I think that maybe that influences as well.
That's a great opinion. That's a great. I think no one is a specialist in dialects here. We're all learning and learning more about this, right? Um, let's. I think I'm sharing. I think Jolly said that he wasn't so familiar with this. Let's see if this may add something to the conversation.
Sophia, this is for you specifically. I want to thank you for changing the image of a Latina woman in American television. It really does mean a lot. Um, I was wondering if, one, you ever imagined you being in this situation you're at, which is amazing, and two, if alguna vez has trabajado en tu acento para cambiarlo o no, si piensas hacerlo en algún momento. Gracias. That's super funny.
I feel like they just said the rest of these guys are real jerks.
No, I never thought that I was going to be so lucky to find a job like Modern Family and to be able, to wake up every day and go to work with pleasure. It's so much fun. It has allowed me to do all the other things that I wanted to do with my career. And then that question that she said in Spanish was if I ever tried to change my accent. I did at the beginning. I thought, I was like, oh, I don't understand how Salma Hayek and Penelope Cruz can't, fix their accents. I'm going to do it. And I hired someone and I worked for months and spend a lot of money because it's very expensive. The hours, they charge you by the hour. And you need to do like 3 hours, like 3 days a week. So it's like, it's horrible. And then I was going to auditions and I was only conscious about the accent and where to put my tongue. And it's like, you need to get good at moving your tongue and placing your tongue in the right places.
You don't need to say more about it.
That's
No, that is good advice.
a lot of effort for me, so I was not doing a very good job in auditions. And so I said one day, you know what, I'm gonna go like this. And my son was one of the persons that was very hard on me with my accent. Like I would rehearse with him, and he was like, "No, I just corrected you. How can you?" And it was awful. So then I'm like, then I said, you know what, I'm going to try going the way that I can, and
Any comments? Any ideas? Any thoughts?
Well, and in regard to what we have just seen in the video, I think she said that she spent some money like trying to change her accent and trying to like become like a little bit more like a native speaker, but she couldn't. So it's just like Daniela mentioned, like not everybody has like the same skill. Like for example, to learn the language. Like for example, maybe those teachers she was paying for the courses didn't teach her as they should be. Like for example, I noticed that she didn't aspirate the sound t. Like for example, when you say tongue, she said tongue. So you see, maybe they didn't teach her as they should be teaching her the language. So in pronunciation, like pronunciation is very important. So sometimes we spend much money trying to improve because we all want to sound like natural, like a native speaker. But in some part, we do not have the ability to do it. So we just can do it how we can and using what we have. Like for example, in the case of her, in the case of Sophia, using her mother tongue to like trying to communicate in English. Yeah, well, it's quite interesting. So yeah, I think just like the people say that she used like her accent like to make to become popular. I don't think is. I think it's not a stereotype in regard to what I just saw in the video.
Right. I don't know if there are any comments agreeing or disagreeing with Jolly. If you are very shy or if you have a bad internet connection or whatever the reason that you maybe don't want to say anything aloud, right? Maybe you can write in the chat box to express your thoughts. Considering that at some point, for example, in this case, she gave up trying to sound like trying to acquire an accent that she didn't feel comfortable with and just embrace the diversity and embrace the difference in terms of sounding different. And if the listener or the person who was going to hire her as an actress was okay with that accent, fine. If not, she was not going to force this. So that is interesting because accent can help you show where you're from, your roots, your cultural heritage, right? Who your parents or grandparents are from, and also help you to be part of the community, to fit into the community, or maybe not. Maybe your accent might not help you to fit in. And that happens a lot in multicultural communities in which many different people from different cultures, I wouldn't say collide, but have to share common spaces. Sometimes people are not so friendly with each other, particularly if they have a negative perception about a specific nationality, right, country. I think it's time for us for a break, but I would like to hear Daniela first.
Yes, I wanted to tell you about an experience that it's quite interesting because this didn't happen in the US, but I have a friend that he went to Switzerland for a time, and he didn't know Swedish. So there they speak a lot of English. They speak very fluent English. So he knew English. So he talked in English to communicate. And when people ask him where he came from, because it was like he has not a beautiful pronunciation. He said that he was from Latin America, and they say, "Oh, you're a Mexican boy," and he was like, no, I'm from Chile. And they were like, oh, and that is close to Mexico or something. And people like they have like this stereotype that every person that is speaking Spanish is going to be Mexican, and that's it. And that was quite funny when he told me that, because they didn't even know where Chile was. So that was fun.
Absolutely true. When I was teaching in States, it happened exactly what you're saying, exactly the same. Everything south of United States was Mexico. So I think particularly in the States, don't have a very clear perception about geography. Therefore, anything that is South United States, so it's Mexico. So probably they think that Mexico is a very, really, really long country. And absolutely have to say that I agree with what you're saying. There's a perception about Latin American as Mexico. Luckily, some people may understand that in Brazil they don't speak Spanish, if right, but it's all connected to Mexico. Mexico has a very powerful influence in the world, right? So it's very easy for people in the world to identify the guys with the big hats drinking tequila, Cinco de Mayo, Dia de los Muertos, so many different cultural activities that are very famous in the world. So the rest of Latin American countries tend to be swallowed up by this big and rich culture that the Mexican have. So yeah, it's easy to get confused, and it's a task for people to try to explain that Chile is another country with a different culture, that that we are culturally different. Good experience, Danila. I totally agree with that. It's time for a break. After the break, we're going to do something different, which involves an activity in groups, okay, that have to do with dialects. To wrap it up, in terms of English dialects, we have been talking about accentedness, and how some specific elements influence, right, the comprehension or intelligibility, right? And why English should be or considered a lingua franca these days, considering that most or the majority of the speakers are non-natives, and how different rules, different assessment, a different approach needs to be done towards English as a language. If you're all okay, we are going to have a break. The break is going to be a 10-minute break. It's 11:48. Yes, 11:58. So probably 12, if you're okay with that. Thank you, Elizabeth. Diego, you got it. So I'll see you at noon, all right? At noon, we come back, and then we're going to start with different collaborative activity in groups of probably 3 or 4. I'll see you later. Enjoy your break. Going to stop recording now.